Netflix has begun to lose subscribers in the U.S. for the first time in 8 years. The last time they lost subscribers in the U.S. was when they were transitioning from the DVD service to the actual on-demand service, like the digital service. And people were a little skeptical about the idea of splitting those two services up. They wanted it all in one. That's the last time they lost subscribers. This is very significant. So they missed their targets in both, of course, the domestic market, but also the international market, where they were supposed to be adding a boatload. A boatload of users in the international market was the expectation. It didn't happen to the degree to which they had originally imagined. The company on Wednesday reported a loss of 126,000 domestic paid subscribers, domestic being the U.S., compared with analysts' expectation of a 352,000 user gain. That's what they were expecting to take place. Instead, they got a drop of 126,000 users. They also missed their own forecast for a global subscriber growth of 2.3 million users. Of course, Netflix going into territories, going into places like India, big populations, big potential for new customer growth, and they missed that number as well. Now, what's the reason, Willie Do? You want to speculate, sir?
Competition?
Well, competition's always there. That's always there. So I agree with you on that. But Netflix themselves, they say it's their content. They say they're not happy with their content slate and they're going to improve it. They apparently haven't been seeing as much success with their originals as they have in the past, or what they expected to see, with the exception of Stranger Things. Stranger Things is the big hit for them, giving them a little boost. But some of their other stuff, less so. At least this is coming from them directly. I agree with you, though. I think competition is big. There are so many competing content streams out there, ways to spend your time. You and I, YouTube natives, how many hours pass that you could just binge on YouTube and not even think about Netflix?
Boatloads.
Boatloads, baby. And I would say when Netflix launched 8 years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah.
When Netflix launched and through the last few years, it was hard to spend hours and hours on YouTube because the content wasn't really there. And I think it's improved quite a bit. And I think we're seeing that now potentially reflected in these numbers right here. Also, important to note, they increased their prices, which is always that moment at which a customer considers whether or not they're getting value out of the content that they're paying for. And when they increase the prices, I think a lot of people second-guessed that subscription and thought now would be a good time to cut it off. So they're also blaming the price increase to a certain degree. Now, if you look at the graph there on growth, the forecast versus actual, and that's for various quarters over 2018 and 2019, the actual graph it's actually kind of scary to look at here. I don't know if you got it. It's on CNBC, actually, if you want to see the graph that I'm looking at, Will. So in quarter one of 2019, for example, the forecast was north of 8 million new paid additional users. And they beat that forecast, getting close to 10 million new users in quarter one. We're now sitting in quarter two, and they had forecast a dip, as you would. Different quarters, different customer behavior. They forecasted a dip, but the actual number is even substantially below the forecasted dip. So the global users not adding Netflix to their inventory of monthly subscriptions as Netflix imagined. They reported international net additions of 2.8 million subscribers. Their analyst estimates, were as high as 4.8 million. So Netflix coming on hard times here. Is there a Netflix in the future? Is Netflix a big player, Will? All the billions and billions of dollars that they've received from customers over the years to build up this inventory of originals. Is Netflix here in 10 years?
I don't think so. I think they actually might
get acquired?
Get bought out.
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, I don't know if they're here or not. I'm not willing to answer the question as bluntly as you just were. I mean, I guess that's why you sit in a big chair, Willie Do. But I think Netflix will continue to diminish in importance in my personal life. And in my experience, having done this job for a long time, I think many times where I'm experiencing something as a user. I'm not the only one. It maps accordingly to a number of other users. They put the price up. I think my bill now is like $17 or something. I think I have the multiple user account with all the features and stuff. It's getting close to like, it's getting into that territory where you start to look at the bill and wonder if you're getting that value. Now, I'll keep it for the foreseeable future, but it's you can imagine if tomorrow, if tomorrow Netflix disappeared, how upset are you?
Not really.
No, you can live, man.
Yeah, I can miss Stranger Things.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
okay
miss
with
it.
that.
You can miss it. And to be honest, me too. I could live without Netflix quite easily, in fact. And that's never a good thing for your company if people feel casually they can move on without it. Now, granted, that's me and Will. Other people, they got different shows. Don't get me wrong. I watch time to time, but I'm just saying, price goes up, value goes down. You start to think about it.